The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TV1 News. I'm Mary Silla Keleton.
And I'm Jasmine Nehru. Join me later in the bulletin for the sports news.
In this edition, Sebob sworn in as 11th Vice Regal. 50 million kina needed to run Engao. And ExxonMobil is Digital Cup co-sponsor. Sebob Dadai has been inaugurated as the 11th Governor-General of Papua New Guinea. The ceremony was presided over by Chief Justice Sir Gibbs Salika in Parliament this morning. As per the constitutional requirement, Sebob took the oath of allegiance and made the declaration of loyalty and office before the Chief Justice and in the presence of Parliament before assuming his duties.
Grand Chief Sir Bob Dadai is the first Vice Regal to be elected a second time as representative of the British monarch in Papua New Guinea. He signed the necessary constitutional declarations for his declaration of loyalty and office before the Chief Justice and the members of Parliament in Parliament this morning. In his declaration, Sir Bob affirmed his loyalty to the independent state of Papua New Guinea, its people and the Constitution of Papua New Guinea, adopted on August 15, 1975. He also promised to uphold the Constitution and laws of the country. After the oath and declaration, Speaker Connie Iguan congratulated Sir Bob on behalf of the members of Parliament and the people of Papua New Guinea and wished him success in his continued role. The inauguration of Sir Bob Dadai as the Governor-General of Papua New Guinea marks a significant milestone in the country's history and symbolizes the country's ongoing commitment to democracy and the rule of law.
Your Excellency, on behalf of the members of Parliament and the people of Papua New Guinea whom they represent, I offer you our congratulations and wish you every success in the high office you now occupy. Honorable members, His Excellency, the Governor-General of Papua New Guinea, Grand Chief Sir Bob Dadai, will now retire.
Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
Former Prime Minister and member for Yalibu Pangia, Peter O'Neill, is concerned over the 3.25 billion kina bailout the government intends to get from the International Monetary Fund, saying it will not be easy because it comes with its own conditions and requirements. O'Neill expressed on Wednesday's Parliament sitting.
Former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has cautioned the government that getting another 3.25 billion kina bailout loan from the International Monetary Fund will be a big challenge for the country. He said countries only go to IMF for economic bailout, not for budget support.
3.2 billion kina over the next 3 years comes with conditions. This is not assistance to support the budget. Mr. Speaker, can you confirm that this is a bailout? Our economy is struggling to meet the revenue targets that you have set, Mr. Treasurer. Mr. Treasurer, can you confirm also that the conditions that the IMF is putting...
concerned that the records of spending and revenues is not reflected in the state of the economy at the moment. He called on the Treasurer to give a realistic picture of what is happening on the ground. Therefore calls on the Treasurer to give a real picture of the economy at the moment as many continue to look for employment.
Recent times you have announced that the Treasurer has announced that they have created over 10,000 jobs over the last 2.5 to 3 years. Now, can the Treasurer inform this Honourable House and the country which sectors have delivered those 10,000 jobs. Because certainly on the ground, a lot of people are finding it out to find new jobs. And Mr. Speaker, I can assure you that people are facing, especially our school leavers who are not properly skilled, lifetime of unemployment. That means that in their life, they might never get a job.
While he urged the government to rescue the economy, Treasurer Ian Lingstaki responded he will give a detailed response to the concerns raised. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Meantime, the member for Yalibu Pangia believes the government's household assistance package is insufficient, saying it is not assisting families enough to put food on the table. He said even the fuel subsidy is only helping those who own vehicles.
The household assistance package that you have announced, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Treasurer, of 1.1 billion kina, is not helping families put food on the table. It is only assisting fuel prices to be subsidized for people who own cars and who are able to afford to have those luxury items. It is certainly not putting food on the table for young Papua New Guinean families, and many of them who are now struggling to even have a job. So, Mr. Speaker, can the Treasurer tell us how this assistance program will assist our families throughout the country?
After a decade, the basic border agreement between Papua New Guinea and Indonesia has been rectified after no progress since its signing in 2013. Minister for Foreign Affairs Justin Churchenko led the basic border agreement between Papua New Guinea and Indonesia successfully to its ratification process in Parliament on Wednesday.
10 long years after it was first signed in 2013, and with no progress made, Minister for Foreign Affairs Justin Churchenko successfully led the basic border agreement between Papua New Guinea and Indonesia to its ratification process in Wednesday's Parliament.
Insofar as the provision applies to ratification of the basic agreement between the government of the independent state of Papua New Guinea and the government of the Republic of Indonesia border arrangements.
Churchenko acknowledged the Parliament for the approval as fellow members of Parliament supported the submission by an absolute majority of 81 votes. Once again, this has been outstanding for about 10 years, and now that this has been approved, we can now go into the process of reviewing any outstanding issues with our border between Indonesia and Papua New Guinea for a new agreement, then to be signed afterwards that captures our shared border and sovereignty interests. The ratification will pave the way for both governments to review the current status of the border and constructively address outstanding issues that affect both countries. Minister Churchenko, who attended the 4th Archipelagic Island State Ministerial Forum in Bali last year, met Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi to discuss and give assurance of the ratification of the now approved border agreement. The security of our borders, with both our defense forces working together side by side doing joint border patrols, is the absolute paramount to protecting both our countries' sovereignties, Minister Churchenko stated. Minister is determined to spearhead the ratification of the Defense Cooperation Agreement between PNG and Indonesia, another long outstanding bilateral agreement that has not seen any progress since 2010. He was pleased to announce that the NEC submission for this agreement has been prepared and will be presented to the NEC. Jasmine Nehru, TVWAN News.
A business council meeting will be held in Margin with the Forum for Indo-Pacific Islands Cooperation this May in Papua New Guinea, in which PNG is co-host. Alongside the aim to forge a stronger and more strategic partnership between the world's 5th largest economy, India and Pacific Island countries, the meeting will also be for PNG and India businesses. Government organizations will be made part of the meet.
Those that Papua New Guinea companies and with the Indian companies as well, and government organisations will all be part of that business council meeting, which will also assist in ironing out some of these issues that have been long outstanding and opening up new doors for business opportunities with both countries. India does very well in its SME programs and activities with its people, in agriculture, and also in information and technology. They're leading the way as well. So we look forward in welcoming the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, to Papua New Guinea for this very important bilateral meeting with our Prime Minister, and to really strengthen our relationship.
A consultative meeting for provincial governors was held on Sunday 12 and Monday 13 March at the Hilton Hotel, where provincial governors raised their concerns about financial powers at the sub-national levels. The governors wanted to discuss ways in which provincial governments can be refined and better empowered to deliver better and greater than the last 28 years.
This is the first time provincial governors organized a consultative meeting to discuss and address various issues affecting and impeding the performance of provincial governments. It was jointly chaired by East Sepik Governor Alan Bird, Northern Governor Gary Joffa and West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutavel. Governors of 17 provinces were in attendance for the two-day dialogue. They included New Island Governor Sir Julius Chan, Enga Governor Sir Peter Ipatas and Gulf Governor Chris Haiveta. Resolutions raised included decentralization of vital political powers to the province, transfer of administrative and financial powers vital to the provincial government's proper and efficient functioning and performance, better management of resources development that included provincial and local government inputs and participation, including better management of customary land. Details of the resolutions were presented to the Minister for Provincial and Local Level Government and the Prime Minister, who also came to address the meeting. The governors also discussed how provinces could contribute to resolving the country's energy needs in light of the fact that our oil reserves or deposits may be exhausted in 13 years and we may need to find sustainable and environmentally friendly alternatives. Given the grave concerns over the level, nature and frequency of crime in the country, the governors also spent time discussing the restructure of police to better deliver policing services. They also resolved to adopt the National GBV Policy 2016 to 2025 and to set up capacities in their respective provinces to implement this national strategy. Carol Kidu Jr., TVWAN News.
TVWAN News continues after the break. Stay with us.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
It's that time again! Scale Rise is giving you the chance to win some Scale School money for 2023. Over 220 winners, 4 fortnightly draws, that's 55 fortnightly winners. Cash prizes starting at 1,000 kina, 2,000 kina, 3,000 kina. They also have consolation prizes of 500 kina. Buy any Scale Rise or Ori Rise to enter the promotion for your chance to win the Scale School money. Terms and conditions apply.
Scale Rise, the brain changer.
Open lens.
We see you, moving heaven and earth to progress forward. That is why we make sure that the reward you deserve is waiting to encourage you on your journey to success.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks Noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier, but you like it more.
No matter how hard I try, I always do something wrong.
Instead of thinking of your son, you'd rather get gold earrings made for your niece. Pay off your mother's loan if you really care about your uncle. Repay the favors he's done.
Buja, they are good people, and they are willing to give you 1 million in advance.
I want you to win somebody's heart, my son.
Osawanin, basta po reita. You talk. Nika tom lang present please stop. You ugly threat. In and out. Mami killing this la mama play. Mami Emma. You not can come close to lo here.
Welcome to the John's Family Podcast, people.
Sort of.
What are you
laughing at?
I just thought of something. I don't feel like dancing. On that note, guys, have a good week. We'll speak to you next time.
Welcome back. Once completed, the redeveloped Engau Memorial Provincial Hospital would require an estimated 50 million kina to run it. Chief Executive Officer for the Morobe Provincial Health Authority, Dr. Kipas Binga, said currently the budget appropriation is over 40 million kina, an amount less than the current operational cost.
The Engau Memorial Provincial Hospital used to have a budget appropriation of 30 to 35 million kina. This year they received over 40 million kina, while Chief Executive Officer of the Morobe Provincial Health Authority, Dr. Kipas Binga, said once completed, the redeveloped Engau would require an estimated amount of 50 million kina to run it.
Operational budgets consist of personal emoluments and all these goods and services, something like fuel or normal operations. When people talk about operational funding, it talks about two components. One is the PE component, which we don't have total control over. They normally deduct it from the top and comes to our salaries to the established government systems. The ones that we have total visibility and control over spending is the goods and services component. So it comes to us and then we make a decision as to how best we can spend it. Based on our costs, rentals and other running operational costs of the hospital.
Dr. Binga outlined that the value of personal emoluments of 2022 was 96 million kina, while Engau was appropriated 45 million kina.
So if you look at it, the appropriation doesn't match the actuals. Knowing that we put a budget submission last year of about 115 million, also considering some of our vacancies. When we appropriated, like everybody else, based on we are given this year, we are given, I think it's a 48 million. So you can already see that even this year's appropriation alone cannot cater for the current staff on strength. For staff on strength, we must have close to 100 million, please. Department of Personal Management advised us to ask Treasury, and that's the government process, ask Treasury that if they can allow us or give them the guarantee by way of writing a letter to inform them that they are okay for us to advertise. So then we can, through the normal budgetary process, can try and find some money to fund those vacant positions that we have.
Dr. Binga described Morobe PHA as the biggest PHA in the country with 1,887 positions under the establishment. Of that number, 852 positions are vacant. He estimated that Angau's catchment population is between 4.5 to 5 million people, adding that is about one-third of PNG's population. Just like health facilities around the country, Angau is still facing staff and drug shortages. Dr. Binga said he is under a lot of pressure, especially in terms of resourcing. Carol Kiru Jr., TV1 News.
Through the PNG Australia Partnership, 23 participants, including Kokoda Village Health volunteers, undertook the Safe Mary Moon training, which was conducted by the Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Kokoda, Eastern Highlands Province. Women and girls along the Kokoda Trek region through the project were provided with a way to better manage menstruation with dignity and ensure women's participation in education, training and employment opportunities by supplying free reusable sanitary pads to women in remote communities. Amongst the participants was Theresa Kilapet, who turned her passion of sewing into a small business through the Kokoda Initiative Livelihood Program. The SMM project facilitated training that taught local women sewing skills and provided further opportunities for income generation. Theresa helped train 16 women as seamstresses. The woman produced over 700 sanitary hygiene kits for women and girls in the Kokoda Trek region. She now aims to partner with community schools in Oro and sew uniforms and supply SMM kits to girls in Oro province schools. A 2-year memorandum of understanding was signed on Wednesday between the National Airports Corporation and the National Polytechnic Institute of PNG at Nadzapele. The MOU will pave the way for Polytech students to get on-the-job training with NAC while addressing the human resource gap of the airport operator.
The National Airports Corporation has been grappling with the issue of insufficient technical manpower to service its airports and facilities. The 2-year Memorandum of Understanding signed at Nadzap between the NAC and the National Polytechnic Institute of PNG will see Polytech students get on-the-job training with the airport operator while also address their gap in human resource. NAC Project Director Tom No said civil aviation is a technical department that has an aging workforce. He outlined that the management over the years did not prioritize succession planning for the technical human resource.
And so they had to do a specialized training to operate within the airport. And we have electricians from the electrical side, we have communications people, and we have people in the who eventually end up in the control towers. Training for our people has been a real challenge, and also replacement of our aging workforce. And so this strategy here is to put back in young people. You will know that the old ways of doing things, in the old days we did manual drafting, with manual calculations. These days everything is being done by computers. And so the new generations, there are new generation of young people, technical people who are coming out. We want them to come in with a new way of doing things.
No highlighted that global standards have evolved while NAC is still lagging behind. He hopes that bringing in young officers will change the agency and help raise standards. Acting Director of the National Polytechnic Institute of PNG, Dr. Michael Hasagama, thanked NAC for considering their students, adding they are keen to embark on this new journey.
So I think in the long run it's a way forward for especially Papua New Guinea, for all state institutions to team up and work together as a team to accommodate for our needs in terms of training and upskilling. So we're very happy to be part of the team, and I look forward to signing this agreement. I think it's in order. And
Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
The Department of Information and Communication Technology collaborated with Amazon Web Services to host an immersive one-day training workshop to overcome adoption challenges and encourage leadership participation to key government agencies. The ICT is driving the digital transformation agenda to modernize government services and improve access to digital technology for citizens. However, one key challenge is the adoption of cloud technology due to misunderstandings and concerns over encryption. Data privacy, data protection, and cybersecurity standards, ideas, and insights were shared on how cloud technology provides the opportunity to revolutionize businesses in the ever-changing security and ICT landscape by participants. They agreed that shifting the cloud offers numerous benefits over traditional on-premises infrastructure, including the ability to launch critical infrastructure quickly at a low cost with minimum resources and compliance with industry standards and global regulations. Member for Lay and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso applauded Busu Secondary School for its great leadership, which made it possible for Digital Foundation to step in and assist with a 4-in-1 double classroom. Rosso outlined that out of 426 high schools and secondary schools throughout PNG, Digital Foundation chose Busu because of its discipline and high academic performance.
Member for Lay and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso said the students and staff of Busu Secondary School have portrayed good qualities by ensuring that they are well-disciplined, hardworking, and possess positive attitudes that have reflected in outstanding academic achievements over the years. When officiating at the opening of the new 4-in-1 double classroom on Monday, March 13, Rosso described Busu Secondary as a shining example of what you can do to a school and turn it around.
It always blesses my heart when I come into here and I see all those beautiful smiles on your faces and the cleanliness of Busu and everything else. And I should say this reflects on your staff, your principal, your board of management. Now you play it.
Rosso stressed on the word responsibility, saying when people take personal ownership of everything they do and make decisions in the best interest of people around them, everything prospers.
I would like to take my cap off and big special mention and credit to our principal and the staff here at Busu. I would like to make special mention and credit to the chairman and his board. And not last but least, the parents and especially you kids. Without your cooperation, your partnership, your leadership that we see today with our master of ceremony and others before that, without those aspects in life, nothing moves forward. Too many times we in Papua New Guinea always think about and something do government, and something do naplaman, and no problem do me, and problem do naplaman. We never take ownership. But once you take ownership of every little thing you do and say, no, this is me, I must do it, then the world will change.
Rosso commended Principal George Noble and his board and administration for maintaining strong, decisive leadership in managing the school's affairs. Because of this, he pledged the support of the Lay City Authority, saying they will allocate 2.5 million kina for a new administration building. The DPM also thanked Digital Foundation for the state-of-the-art infrastructure for Busu Secondary School, which is worth 1.6 million kina, the highest amount the foundation has ever spent on a single classroom. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
You're watching TV1 News. Stay tuned for more when we return.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice.
New Flame Rice. Win him, Olgeta.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bongum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
When skin tends to lack natural oil, it is termed dry skin. Refresh and rehydrate with the Neutrogena Hydro Boost range. Here's a simple 3-step routine. 1. Hydro Boost Cleanser. It is gentle, won't clog pores, and adds moisture to the skin, unlike soap. Step 2. A moisturizer, such as this one, for replenishment. Step 3. Bright Eyes. A specially formulated eye roll-on. Infuses moisture around the delicate eye area. And there you go. Be beautiful, be you.
On that, the Indians certainly think so. Shami's up late.
That's worth a shout. That's close. Yeah, that's close.
He's getting frustrated. He takes it out on the white ball.
Super Rugby Pacific. The pride of the Pacific Islands on display. I just want to say, what are you looking for in a woman? It's. You've got to help. Oh, right. You've got to help. Yeah. And it's going to be a massive year on Fox League.
Welcome back. The Chief of the Australian Defence Force, General Angus Campbell, arrived today in Papua New Guinea to commence a 2-day visit program. The visit will include the opening of a refurbished accommodation block at Tarama Barracks and meetings with Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso, Defence Minister Win Daki, and PNG Defence Force Commander Major General Mark Goina. Campbell said the close partnership between both nations continues to grow, rich with history and based on the close ties between both peoples. Australia and PNG share a close defence partnership. Hundreds of ADF and PNGDF personnel continue to train, exercise and operate alongside one another every year. Australia and Papua New Guinea are working together through the Defence Cooperation Program to meet PNG's defence and security priorities. This includes strengthening PNG's sovereign defence capabilities, including infrastructure, maritime and aviation capabilities. Meantime, the Australian Army is drawing on lessons from the Ukraine war in its latest defence training exercise in North Queensland. Troops are taking part in tank and trench warfare training exercise in Townsville.
Around 1,500 troops are taking part in exercise Silicon Brolga, the first major training of the year. Units from 3rd Brigade will spend 2 weeks battling a simulated enemy. They're working across incredibly dense bushland and battling the elements at one of the largest defence training grounds in Australia. They've deployed Bushmaster vehicles, the same type which was deployed to the front lines of Ukraine. They've also been firing live rounds and have constructed a trench to simulate real-life ground warfare, which was used in places like Syria and Korea. We've heard this morning from Brigadier David McCammon, who's been out with the troops. He says they're closely monitoring the unfolding situation in Ukraine.
We look at everything that's going on in the world and we always look to make sure that we're watching trends, whether that's in technology or training standards, and make sure that we interact and put that in our own training.
With Australia's defence community focused right now on big maritime spending under the AUKUS deal, Brigadier McCammon says frontline training such as what is being simulated here will form a crucial part of Australia's frontline defence.
Fiji military personnel are in Vanuatu to assist in recovery operations. The team is there to assist with humanitarian coordination and support local efforts.
Fiji deployed military personnel this week to help Vanuatu in its recovery operations following the two severe tropical cyclones that hit earlier this month. 31 officers arrived in Port Vila on Tuesday and joined a team sent earlier. Fiji's Commissioner Eastern Vitale Varo said they are there to assist the people affected by the cyclones.
Looking at the response that we have in the area that will be required under the NDMO Vanuatu for us to assist, and basically humanitarian coordination to assist the affected population that those are in need. And we are here to talk, to discuss with our team that's already been here, just to further assist the government of Vanuatu on how well our men can move in the government of Fiji to assist the areas that is needed. Basically, we are looking at a few areas in terms of looking at the affected population that has been affected for the recent cyclone. So we are here for disaster management and humanitarian coordination. That's to coordinate with the team Vanuatu how we can affect and put ourselves together in terms of looking at the affected population, and then how well the government of Fiji can contribute also in this program.
The devastating effects of back-to-back tropical cyclones in Vanuatu have left 80% of the population impacted. Cyclone Kevin became the second major weather event in less than a week to hit the country after Category 4 Cyclone Judy crashed onto its shores. A state of emergency was declared for areas impacted mostly by severe tropical Cyclone Judy, which flattened properties before Kevin hit. Initial reports from Vanuatu's National Disaster Management Office have indicated approximately 251,319 people, of which 125,500 are children, have been impacted by the dual tropical cyclones, nearly 80% of the country's population. There were no reports of fatalities. It is not the first time that Fiji military assisted Vanuatu following a disaster. After Cyclone Pam in 2015, Fiji sent a 12-member medical team who accompanied the military contingent to assist cyclone victims in Vanuatu. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
A world-first clinical trial has begun on Queensland's Sunshine Coast to treat a debilitating condition that affects 1 in 50 people. Rheumatoid arthritis attacks the joints, but scientists are targeting the gut to see if adding beneficial bacteria can combat the disease.
Carol Pocklington is 77 years old, works full-time and leads a happy, healthy life. But 2 decades ago, when she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, her future looked bleak.
My knees gave out when I was on holiday, and within a matter of weeks I was in a wheelchair.
Her husband John became her full-time carer, but then she joined a trial for a new arthritis drug, which she says turned her life around.
That's really what saved me.
Rheumatologist Professor Peter Nash was part of that trial.
Can you make a fist? Yes.
He's now involved in a study that could stop patients from going through Carol's pain.
We're interested in treating early disease, established disease, patients who are flaring despite the treatment.
He's working with scientists at the Servatus lab at Coolum Beach. They're diving deep into the gut microbiome, home to trillions of microbes, some helpful, some harmful.
The microbiome is really the next evolution in medicine.
They're examining whether introducing live beneficial bacteria can treat or even prevent the autoimmune disease.
Bacteria that normally live in you anyway, or you may eat in food.
Animal trials delivered promising results.
We've seen very little side effects in any of the trials we've done.
The human trial has begun with 7 participants so far, but the team is in need of more patients to take part, with the hope of bringing the product to market within the next 5 years.
Well, I think it's exciting because it'll help us understand cause, and we'll never get to a cure unless we know cause.
Giving people like Carol cause for hope.
The President of Malawi has called for international help in the wake of Cyclone Freddy, which has claimed at least 270 lives in 3 countries including Mozambique and Madagascar. The storm is one of the most powerful to ever strike the Southern Hemisphere, battering the region for weeks and straining local support services.
The rain hasn't stopped, but casket by casket, survivors of Cyclone Freddy bury the dead. The storm tore through southern Africa for the 2nd time in a month. Malawi, the worst hit. This village in the country's south was buried in mud.
What I saw was frightening, something I've never seen in my life. It was as if the sky was moving. The trees were being cut down and blown sideways.
Gift Daniel rescued his wife and children, but lost several other family members in the landslide.
When the waters took me, I managed to grab onto a root and yelled to check on my wife. She was being rolled by the water and debris with the baby on her back.
Dozens of people are still missing. This woman is searching for her grandmother, but can't even find her home. Malawi's president paid his respects at a mass funeral and appealed for international help.
Sometimes when you just pass by these many caskets, you cannot help but shed tears because loved ones, one whole family, completely wiped out.
Survivors are in desperate need of clothing, food and shelter, and there are fears a deadly cholera outbreak could now get worse.
The system is overwhelmed. The needs are just unimaginable.
And the scale of the destruction is still unfolding.
Back home, tuberculosis is a potentially serious infectious disease, but with the current nationwide drug shortages, health workers are more fearful of the multi-drug resistant TB. Health workers at the Engau Memorial Provincial Hospital in Lae are concerned that Morbe might follow the same path that Western Province was on.
According to the World Bank, tuberculosis infection cases have been growing at frightening rates in Papua New Guinea. Daru Western Province, being one of the highest TB and multi-drug resistant TB burden areas in the country, was declared a hotspot for MDR-TB in 2014 by the World Health Organization. With the current drug shortages, health workers at the Engau Memorial Provincial Hospital in Lae are concerned that multi-drug resistant TB will increase in Morobe. A health worker painted a distressful picture at the Engau outpatient, saying they have noted an increase in the number of MDR-TB patients from the catchment area at Buimo. Describing the situation as scary, he said they can only control MDR-TB if initial patients who are on 6-month treatment are on medication consecutively, meaning no missing treatment, no running short of drugs. Treating MDR-TB is more costly than treating TB. This newsroom was advised that it costs $15,000 for one patient for 6 months of treatment, while treating one MDR-TB patient is 50,000 kina for 11 months of treatment. On the other hand, it costs 100,000 kina to treat just one patient who has extensively drug-resistant TB or XDR-TB, a rare type of multi-drug resistant TB. Daru and the National Capital District have cases of extensively drug-resistant TB. TB officers in Morobe are fighting hard to get TB supplies to avoid this worst form of multi-drug-resistant TB. Morobe Provincial Health Authority CEO Dr. Kipas Binga said TB drug shortage is a nationwide issue. He clarified that TB drugs do not follow the normal system of distribution. Rather, there is a special arrangement between the health department and donor partners like the World Bank and the Global Fund. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
And that ends the news segment. Here's the weather report for the next 24 hours. At home, regional forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Momase region, isolated showers and thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands region, scattered showers and thunderstorms with rain areas. Highlands region, scattered showers and thunderstorms with rain areas. Then scattered morning fog. That ends the news segment. On the other side with Jasmine Iru, Digicel ExxonMobil Cup and PNG NRLC set for April.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bungum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
Just the start they were after. He does it so well. Pickett, Gold Tigers. He'll back him every single time, and that's huge.
Pulls it away, one bounce for, and that's 50 up for Sean Marsh.
Oh, they like that too. And Paul Wilson says, yes, that's 3. There. Signals to the crowd. Job done for the Indians.
it so well. Pickett, Gold Tigers. You'll back him every single time, and that's huge.
Thanks for staying with us. In sports, the PNG National Rugby League competition today announced ExxonMobil as the new naming rights co-sponsor alongside Digicel for the country's flagship competition. It's been renamed Digicel ExxonMobil Cup. ExxonMobil's new co-sponsorship deal is for 3 years, valued at 6 million kina.
ExxonMobil has come on board as a naming rights sponsor for the Digicel Cup. The announcement was made today at the Santos National Football Stadium. Present at the event were PNG NRLC Chairman Adrian Chow, Digicel CEO Colin Stone, and ExxonMobil Chairman and Managing Director Peter Loudon. Before making the announcement, Chairman Chow took a moment to reflect back on the journey and values and importance of having the National Rugby League competition and how it's impacting on the lives of our young people and the pathway it provides. Before welcoming ExxonMobil on board, the chairman also acknowledged and thanked Digicel for its continued support as the main driver of this national competition for over 12 years. When officially welcoming ExxonMobil on board, PNG NRLC chairman thanked Loudon and ExxonMobil for setting a strong foundation to see this national competition played at the highest level. Chow added that strengthening the game's professionalism and standard of play will generate new opportunities and create pathways for young players to grow.
So I'm very pleased that Digicel will continue as our naming rights sponsor, and I offer my appreciation to Digicel and Colin and Lorna for all their confidence in our continuing partnership. So with this background, I'm delighted to announce today that ExxonMobil PNG will be coming on board as co-naming rights sponsor of our National Rugby League competition. The sponsorship term is 3 years, 2 million per year for a total of 6 million kina. This is a unique arrangement with two leading companies joining as co-naming rights sponsors. The Digicel Cup will be rebranded as the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup with a new logo and a new perpetual trophy.
Loudon and ExxonMobil is proud to partner with Digicel to support this prestigious competition, which is a powerful force for national unity and pride.
And I can say that ExxonMobil is incredibly excited to be the new co-naming sponsor of the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup. We know how important rugby league is to Papua New Guinea. I've experienced it firsthand, certainly last year with the World Cup. It unites a nation, it instills pride, and it certainly ensures that we are developing our youth and our population here in a really positive way.
Digicel CEO Colin Stone expressed pleasure at having ExxonMobil as partner in hosting the 2023 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup.
We believe in partnership. We've partnered with ExxonMobil for their ICT services for many years now, and strengthen our ties through the combined sponsorship announced today, and also of the PNG Kumals and their recent World Cup campaign. On the back of these partnerships, we're pleased to be here today for the announcement of Digicel and ExxonMobil co-hosting the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup in 2023 and beyond. The competition will officially be named the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup. With this co-sponsorship and through discussions with Exxon and the PNG RFL, it's important to understand what this means. And this is about developing pathways for both youth and women within the sport, as well as increasing the professionalism and the game for the fans within rugby league in Papua New Guinea.
Today's big announcement was followed by the unveiling of the now branded Digicel ExxonMobil Cup logo. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
Digicel ExxonMobil Cup is set to kick off in the second week of April. PNG NRLC Chairman Adrian Chow said the calendar for this season has been sent out to all 12 franchises. This season will be a 22-week regular competition and 4 weeks of finals.
The calendar has been released to our franchises, and kickoff will be the week after Easter. So at this stage, well, we planned, it's a 22-week competition, 18 regular rounds and 4 weeks of finals.
The National Gaming Control Board has become the first sponsor to put forth 50,000 kina towards sponsoring the 2023 National South Basketball League Championship Tournament. NGCB Chief Executive Officer Imelda Agon presented a check to the league in Port Moresby this week.
The National South Basketball League is set to host its 2023 championship tournament in April. National South Basketball League patron Johnny Yawari said this year the National Gaming Control Board came in as the first sponsor to put money towards hosting the 2023 NSBL Championship Tournament. A check of 50,000 kina was presented by the National Gaming Control Board Chief Executive Officer Imelda Agon.
And I would like to thank the CEO and his team for every effort and support that you give to NSPL. So with that, thank you for coming on board this year.
League President Silas Nicky stated that this is the third time in which the National Gaming Control Board has supported the National South Basketball League since its 15 years of establishment.
I just want to acknowledge National Gaming Control Board under the leadership of CEO for the biggest sponsor that you have given to NSPL, and money that you gave to us, it will go a long way to support basketball NSPL, and we're going to go far. We are trying to reach out Papua New Guinea, so next year we are not in Moresby. We might try and host it somewhere in other provinces, get everybody to get together to involve in basketball. We are trying to promote basketball in the country.
National Gaming Control Board CEO Imelda Agon said apart from putting money to support the event, she personally feels that it is a cause to revive the physical education that is slowly dying out in many educational institutions today.
We believe that in generating revenue for the government and the state and our people, it is paramount that we give back in sports as well, because sports unite Papua New Guinea together. Unlike religion, there are demarcations, there are boundaries, but sports in the country is an avenue where you see Papua New Guinea united. Unity comes as we gather together in sports. And
2022 Digicel Cup champions Croton Hela Wigmen will be traveling to Fiji next week for the Melanesian Cup Challenge against Fiji National Rugby League champions. Western Maroons Wigmen have waited 3 years after Lace-Nax Tigers won it for a third time in 2020. At today's photo shoot and media conference, Wigmen Board Chairman Andy Hetra spoke passionately about team goals and objectives this year, but more so how they are looking forward to defending the Melanesian Cup, currently held by Lace-Nax Tigers. Hetra said although they will be up against an unknown Fiji outfit, they will not be taking them lightly.
And it's good to be back again, to go back and defend the cup, which is currently held by Papua New Guinea through Lace-Nax Tigers at the time. And we're looking forward to defending that cup. We have prepared for this, knowing that the opportunity may come up, but we've been told in the last 4 weeks that the invitation has been placed on us, but that is no excuse. We have been through our pre-season program, and we have the team to go and defend the cup.
And that ends TVWAN News Tonight. Over to you, Maricela.
Thank you, Jasmine. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you're feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.